So here we are pruning the clematis, this group 2 clematis, into a framework. You look for a bud and you're always going to prune just above the bud. So the idea is to prune it back to a framework, and you always take it back to a bud. Buds look like this, and you can spot them quite clearly, and you need to cut just above the bud. Here you can see another bud, cut just above that. So you're taking off a lot of this dead top growth and cutting it back to a framework, back to a bud each time. You work your way across the plant, taking it back to the buds, leaving a framework. I'm going to prune it back all the way, and then tie it in so that it's nice and framed for the summer growth. Examine the branch, look for a bud, an axil bud, and prune. So there's quite a big buds here that you can see. There, that's the buds, that's where all the new growth is going to come from. So we're going to cut here. Again, you can see there's a little bud coming through, cut just above it. And it's the same process all the way across the plant. There's a bit of a tangle from how it finished at the end of last year's growing season. It's very vigorous clematis, so providing this is a group 2 or even a group 3, but certainly not a group 1, you're not going to do a lot of harm to it by cutting it back. But what you want to end up with is a nice neat framework that you can then tie in to the structure, and it can grow up new for this season's growth. The idea is to take off this top growth, which is not necessary, and cut across all of the clematis, cutting back to a bud, working your way systematically across the plant, and then we'll have a look at how it looks when it's been completely pruned. Now you can see the clematis has been pruned. It's been much reduced, and you see inside the tug the amount of material that I've cut off the top of it. You will cut off some axil buds, but don't worry, as long as you've got a good strong framework with plenty of buds on it, the plant, as it's very vigorous, will be absolutely fine. As you can see, it's a windy day, and these stems are bobbing around and they can be easily damaged by the wind. It's early in the season, we do get quite a lot of gales. It's a good idea to tie in this part of the plant. Quite straightforward. I use raffia. I like raffia as ties because it's soft, it doesn't damage the plant. And we just pick up 2 or 3 stems, put the tie around the stem, not tight, just enough to give it the support and stop it blowing around. My fingers are too cold to tie at the moment, but there we go. And you want to do that across all of the clematis, and that will keep it tied in and secure. It looks a little untidy, because it's just bare stems, and also because I've got a honeysuckle growing over it which I haven't pruned. But if you identify the clematis, you will see it's been cut down by about half into this neat framework. And this is the group 2. And finally we're going to look at group 3 clematis, which requires a hard prune.